What up? It's Jimmy from Odds.com. This is a clip from our big NBA show. If you want to check out the entire show, hit the link at the bottom of the screen. It's available exclusively on Odds.com. And move on to Kings Clippers. Kings Clippers is up next, and we have a full market. Clippers open up as 10.5-point favorites. That is still at 10.5, though. There are some plus lines beside the 10.5. It could move to 10 at some point. This total opened up at 231, and we now see 231 and a half. Kings 5-9, 1-3 on the road at the Clippers 10-4, 5-2 at home. We're at Staples Center, Los Angeles, California. Kings pace last 5 games, 9th in the NBA at 101.2 possessions a game. Clippers 21st at 98.50 possessions a game. The Kings have lost 3 straight and 5 of 6. They're coming off a 128-123 loss at home in New Orleans. De'Aaron Fox went for 43 points, 13 assists in the loss. Bagley goes for 26 points and 10 rebounds. When De'Aaron Fox and Marvin Bagley combine for 69 points, this team can very easily still lose because they're that bad defensively.
Right.
Bagley's probable for Wednesday's game against the Clippers with a sore left wrist. This defense is allowing 123.6 points per game on the season. They're just not to be trusted. Hassan Whiteside is questionable Wednesday with a hip injury, and we got Wham back in action. Clippers have won 4 straight. They've won their past 2 games by a combined 71 points. That also makes me a little uncomfortable to expect just another cakewalk from them when, as we've talked about so many times on the show, it's just questionable how much they care. They have a ton of skill, but how much do they care? They've won their past 2 games by a combined 71 points, coming off 129-96 win at home over the Pacers on Sunday. Leonard went for 17, Paul George went for 20, and then you have Luke Kennard and Marcus Morris. He's coming off the bench scoring 20 points. We see the thing that's working. If you have a bench, if you have guys coming off the bench putting up 15 to 20 points, if you have 2 of them, you win the basketball game. This team is rolling. Lou Wills missed the last 2 games with a hip injury. He's listed as questionable to return. Let's go with Wham Bam, Kings Clippers.
I don't want to touch this Kings team, man. Last 3 games, 134 points per game they're allowing. Nowhere I'm near I want to touch this team. Their defense is looking shot. Tyrese Halliburton said after the game he does think he needs to get a little bit more confidence, you know what I mean, out there. He's been making a little bit lackadaisical mistakes out there and everything. I think that's going to help them long term. Probably not in this case. I mean, the Clippers looking like they're cold killers. You know what I mean? I think the Clippers' first half is a killer spot right here, honestly. That's honestly the only way I'm looking at this, taking the Clippers early. I could see the Kings making some game out of this because the Clippers are the Clippers. They're only used to, clip toenails, so they're not used to win any games. But in this point, bro, I will only go first half, bro. Only go first half. I think they've been shooting at a crazy rate. I think it may continue. I did like Paul George to, make an MVP case this year because it just seemed like he had to bounce back, and he's proven that. So I think that's going to continue. That's not a fluke. I believe he has to keep Kawhi, honestly. You know what I mean? And you got to go all the way out. So to be honest with you guys, this is one of those games that I only will want to go with the first half just because this is the better team, and it just only makes sense. But I haven't made a pull it. It's nothing that I've written down. I did want to make the first half a play. If you guys are leaning that way, I think that may make tip me over the edge, though, to be honest.
It's moved to 6.5 from the 6. The first quarter is 3.5. And I don't know what to do with the Clippers at this point. I'd sure like to see them on the road against the best team in the league, or against Brooklyn, or against the Lakers. And, well, not that matters being on the road against the Lakers, but I'd like to see them against the best team in the league as a possible dog, and then maybe back them in that situation. Right. And then also, I guess you have to think that maybe at plus 650 to win the championship, it's somewhat live, but they're certainly better than they were last year, but that's an easy thing to say. Let's hear what Dutch has to say about this spot, Kings Clippers.
Yeah, I'm definitely not trusting the Clippers in this spot, but I'm not going to put my money on the Kings either, especially with the numbers that you guys both just went off with. But the Kings are 10-4 to the over on the season, 3-1 on the road, 7-1 in the last 8 to the over. And the Clippers are 9-5 to the over on the season, 5-2 to the over at home. and 5-0 in the last 5 to the over. Everything you guys mentioned screamed the over. All the numbers scream over. And there's a lot of talent on that basketball court, and mostly on the offensive side. So I love the over in this game, Jim.
It makes perfect sense because we know that the Kings are capable of maybe not for 48 minutes, but they can go bucket for bucket with teams, with the top offensive teams in the league. De'Aaron Fox is very confident right now. Bagley is I don't know whatever happened to him at the beginning of the year with his dad and all that bullshit, but it looks like they're coming. At least De'Aaron Fox is stepping up the way that we thought he was capable of, and I think that over makes absolute perfect sense. And we're shooting this. It's now 12:27 a.m. Eastern, but this number is going to go up, and it doesn't matter. I shouldn't say it doesn't matter. We know that the Clippers are playing at a slow pace, but they're shooting the lights out right
They're
now.
so offensively talented, and then the bench comes off, and they got, like you said, guys that can put it in on the bench, and then they don't really play too much defense as well. In Sacramento, they're going to run it up and down. I really expect a lot of points in this game, and I would lean Sacramento with the points because I definitely think that the Lakers or that the Clippers are going to play around with them, because they know that they're a better team, and at any time they'll feel like they could step on their throat. So I'm hoping that they don't do that early, and it's a close game, late third, and then probably see the Clippers put it on them early fourth.
What's the team total in first half for the Clippers?
I will get that right now for you, but I almost wonder if Dutch, if the first half is the better look, because we know that there's no chance that the Clippers are up by 25 and just let go in the fourth.
I'm not mad at that look, Jim, but I don't really see that. I don't think this is the type of game that the Clippers will blow that they'll blow them out in. I think Sacramento will play in this game.
First half team total for these Clippers is 62.5, slightly juiced to the under.
What's the first half?
That's a high number. Total? That's a pretty high number.
The first half total is 118.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna lock in the full game, Jim.
Makes a ton of sense. 231.5 for Dutch Boy Fresh. 231.5.
That first half is probably high for a reason, Jim. You're probably right on that, but I'm gonna stick to the full game. These first half have been 50-50 with me.
It's funny that this wasn't screaming at me until your breakdown, Dutch, but I guess it's because the writing down the pace, the Clippers pace is being in my head, and it sticks in my head, and I shouldn't. They put up 129 points against the Pacers on Sunday, and now they stay home, and Kennard heating up right now.
Yeah, man,
they have it. I mean, Sacramento's not going to do anything to stop them. This was honestly one of my favorite looks, and I was happy to see that there was a number out, and it wasn't crazy high either. I mean, it's high obviously, but it's not. Man. It's not ridiculous.
And what was it? It was two shows ago where we had that Blazers Kings total. It was at 236.5. I took the over, and what they hit 260, 265. Dutch, I think this is a very good look that you're on, and I'm going to not just tail it, but I'm going to double up on it. First half and full game here. First half total. Sorry, let me pull this up here. First half total was 118.5. And so over 118.5, and then full game over 231.5. And let's just see, can I make a first half? So I'll have to, maybe I can. And I can. Yes, I can. Beautiful. It's up. It's the only game where first halves are up right now at Bet365. Okay, and Wham, you want to come on board, or it's not on your sheet? You're going to leave it alone?
I might leave it alone. Honestly, though, that first half team total over 62.5, that makes sense to me, bro. I could see them early high 60s too, man. But I'm a slow off of it. I'm a slow off of it just because I didn't write it down. I kind of messed up last week and took a play that I didn't write down, and it fucked me up. So I'm gonna just slow down on this one.